Inside the AFC South, man, we're going to break it down here. Next week, we're going to break down the AFC West. But let's start off with the team who won the AFC South. The Cinderella team last year, I guess you want to call it, the Houston Texans, led by this boy right here, CJ Stroud, who had an amazing rookie campaign. He played much better as a rookie in Houston than he did when he was I was about to say USC. I don't know, my brother cuts me out, at the Ohio State. They went 10-7 last year, won the division championship, beat Joe Flacco and the Browns in the wild card round, and lost in a close game in the division round to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. For me, there's a lot of pressure now on not just the Houston Texans, but more specifically CJ Stroud, year two DeMeco Ryans. You know, they've got a better roster this year. They went out there and got Joe Mixon. They went out there and got Danielle Hunter. They went out there and traded for Stephon Diggs. It's a much better team this year on paper, and a lot of people are going to be expecting them to make an even bigger leap. You made it to the divisional round. So now you're expected to make it to the AFC Championship game. And one thing I always say about quarterback development is that unless you're the alien who is Patrick Mahomes, you don't really like when you saw Pat's, you know, it was the second year, his rookie year. You knew that nigga was the one. Like there's some stuff like that. It's a unicorn that you just know. But most quarterbacks, you got to see how they are in year 3 and year 4. Some have a sophomore slump. Even with, I won't call Pat Mahomes' year a second slump, obviously, but he went from 50 touchdowns to 26. So how is it going to be when you've had a whole offseason of defensive coordinators game planning for you? So there's a lot of pressure for them. And I think this is going to be, it was a competitive division last year. I think it's going to be even more competitive. I think it's going to be a 3-team race to win this division. But I think they're going to be at the end battle tested. I think that they're probably going to win around the same amount of games this year. But I think this is going to be a year where they'll have some up and downs. But I think CJ Stroud is legit. And I think this is a really good team. So I don't see that much change. And I think they will rise to the pressure of being a favorite here. Bane, what do you think about CJ Stroud and the outlook for this Texans team?
Hey, man, you got a first place schedule. I see some regression. All right. Don't get me wrong. They improved with getting Stephon Diggs there. They improved on defense with Danielle Hunter. And you seem to be poised, but now they got a first place schedule. And that division is not as easy as people put it out to be. So I think we're going to see them regress. I'm not saying that they're not going to win the division, but we're going to see some regression on this thing.
Courtney, are you with Bane saying there's going to be some regression with this team, or do you think they'll be able to take the things they did last year and just improve on them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Bang. They were 7-3 in one touchdown games last season, one score games last season. So, I mean, you can't imagine that they're going to have this same luck. That's almost kind of statistically impossible, right? But I don't know, man. They made some solid moves. I know they have some. I mean, listen, they can't, knock on wood, they can't get any more injured than their offensive line was last season, right? That's going to be a big thing for me. And then what's old dude's name that's suspended for PEDs on defense? I can't think of his name. That's kind of going to be a big loss for them for the first few games. But they made some decent signings this season, not just offensively, but defensively as well. I mean, listen, there's still a lot of question marks in the rest of that division. So I'm still very high up on the Texans. I don't know how much of a regression it'll be. I still think that they'll win the division. That's just me.
Dante, what you see this year going for the Texans? Of course, we'll give our actual record predictions in our season preview episode.
I don't see much of a regression. I think this is going to be a very good football team throughout the season. I think the Joe Mixon signing is kind of going under the radar. People don't mention that a lot, but I think that's going to help them out and help them to be more balanced on offense. And so I think they're going to have a team who, once again, like I said, I also picked them to win the AFC South. I think the Titans are my sleeper team in the South, but I think right now the Texans are still the best team in this division. And I think CJ, as long as CJ continues to improve, and they have the structure around him for that to happen. So I don't see there's a reason why there should be a, big regression from Houston. So I still think they'll be the best team in the division.
My only thing is they have a much tougher schedule this season. They have like the 6th or 7th toughest schedule in the league and like 6 primetime games. I'm pretty sure every game they had last season, quote me if I'm wrong, please, or correct me if I'm wrong, was at like 1 p.m. So I'm curious to see how they, I'm curious to see how they adjust to those. I mean, the lights are going to be a little bit brighter. So
I think they had a Thursday night game, but them not really big lights. Those are medium lights right there. But I agree with you on that. It's the number one play schedule, so it's gonna be a little different to see how that'll be, man. Let's go to the team that finished second in the division. The team that actually blew the division. They were the favorites last year. That is the Jacksonville Jaguars. This will be the first year for Trickoff Trev and his big time contract. A lot of pressure on this guy here who was touted as a generational talent coming out the draft 3 years ago. We might be looking at that 2021 draft as these niggas are all mid. So it's a lot of pressure on him. Year 3 for Doug Peterson. We know they made the playoffs 2 years ago. And having that, that big time performance where Troy, he threw 4 interceptions, but also threw 4 touchdowns as well. I think there's a lot of pressure on them here. I think that if they don't make the playoffs, I think that Doug Peterson is up out of there. You just paid your quarterback. You just added different things to the team. I think that's something that if they don't get it done, I think this job is going to be taken care of. And y'all know I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence fan at all. I'm really not. I think he's overrated. I think they give him a lot of love because he's a white boy. Let's just keep it all the way real. He's not going to get the love. He's not going to get the chances that a black quarterback would be. I think there's talent there, but if he don't do it this year, I don't think he ever will. And it'll just be a situation where maybe he's just an okay quarterback. Courtney, I'm going to go back to you. What do you think about Trevor Lawrence, the pressure that's on them, and can they actually bounce back from a year they had last year where they should have won a division they did?
Yeah, so I'm looking at their depth chart right now. I mean, I can clearly see that they made some improvements. They got Anton Harrison and Mitch Morse now. So they definitely made some improvements on their offensive line. I'm still not too sold on Brian Thomas. I know it's the LSU bug, but he also, keep in mind, he had Malik Neighbors at the same time on that team who took a lot of those catches. So I'm still not on the Brian Thomas Jr. train. They signed Big Game Gabe. Fingers crossed Christian Kirk steps up. But I'm looking at the other 2 teams in that division that we haven't talked about yet. And I can't help feeling like Dante said, the Titans are kind of my sleeper team. I really don't know how I feel about the Jags. I'm not sold on Trevor Lawrence. I'm not. I need to see it this season over a consistent period of games. I need 4 or 5 games to fully, in my opinion, start to believe.
That's fair. Bang, we'll go to you. You're the man who gave him the nickname Trickoff Trev. Tell me what you think the vibe will be for this Jaguar team.
I think this will be a bit of a bounce back season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trickoff Trev is Trickoff Trev, but I think he'll have a better season than he did last year. The Brian Thomas thing, like they say, he's been killing cats in camp. So that's interesting right there. And then, but Zay Jones just got suspended for I think like half of this, like the first 6 games of the season.
Zay Jones is now with the Cardinals, so
I forgot about that. You're right. My bad. Damn.
No. Listen, we're all helping each other out because Mikey Schefter,
right.
Shout out to Mikey, had to let me know that Justin Simmons had already been signed with Atlanta. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, why didn't the Colts try to pick up Justin Simmons?
Anyway. No, I just feel bad because I totally forgot about that. And normally I'd be on that. So damn, you're right.
Big Game Gabe now.
Yeah, players fuck up. But I do think that they'll be straight. Either way it go, I think they'll be straight. I think Trickoff Trev is gonna have a bounce back season. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will too. Hell, I got them beating the Bears in London, so
okay. I hope the fuck not. I better not see them niggas lose. I know that damn much. Dante, you already talked on the right. I'm losing, man. End of the day, did you?
No, I didn't, but I'll be quick. I don't expect much from these guys. I think they're gonna regress. I think this is the team of any team that we mentioned is gonna have the regression, and it's partially mainly due to what they've put around Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I think losing Calvin Ridley is going to be a big loss, and they're going to feel that. So I think this is definitely a team that I could see. We'll get into our predictions. We'll be getting to them, but this is not going to be the team that everybody expected, and the success that everybody expected for Trevor Lawrence. It's not going to happen, at least this year. It's not.
That paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not